In this video, we're going to be discussing the Classwork tab in Google Classroom. This section is where the bulk of your time and efforts will be spent, where you share content and assignments with students. To get to your classwork, open your Google Classroom and go to the word Classwork in the top menu. Click on the word Classwork. If you've ever taken an online class, then you're familiar with the term modules. Modules are just a section of content or assignments within an online class. This is a way for you to organize what you are posting. In a Google Classroom, the modules are called topics. Before beginning, you'll want to consider how you want to organize your material. I would recommend at least one topic for links to resources and one topic for class recordings. Your additional topics will come from your curriculum coaches and deans on how your content will be organized, whether that's unit-based, subject-based, or weekly. Once you have decided how this will be organized, make sure that you're communicating this with your grade levels to make sure it's uniform across all campuses. Let's begin by creating a topic. To create a topic, click on the green Create button at the top of the screen. In the drop-down menu, Topic is the last option. You'll want to name your topic. Let's call this topic by date April 1st through the 6th. When you're ready, click the word Add. You can create as many topics as you need by continuing to click the Create button and then going back down to Topics. Once you've created all the topics that you want, you can organize your topics in your Google Classroom. To do this, you can click on the topic and then drag it down the list until it's where you want it to be. In this Google Classroom, I want the links to be at the top so they're easily accessible to the students, my content in the middle, and then my recordings at the end. Once you have your topics created and organized, you're going to want to start to add content. To add content to your topics, you're going to go back to that Create button. In the menu, you're going to see several different types of content that you can add to your topics. You can do an assignment, a quiz assignment, a question, material, or reuse an old post. Let's take a look at what an assignment would look like if we were to add one to a topic. In the first box, you'll see a place where you can add a title to your assignment. Let's call this one a daily journal. In the next box, you can include instructions. Write what you did today. That will be their instructions for their journal. And then on the bottom, you can see an icon here where you can add attachments. This is important that you understand Google Suite's tools like Google Drive and Google Docs, because this is where you're going to be integrating them into your assignments. Previously, I'd already created a Google Doc for this journal, so I'm going to go to my Google Drive and locate this document. When you click on Drive, it'll pull up all of your files that you have used recently. If you are having a hard time finding it, you can go to the My Drive button where you'll see your folders and you can access it a little more quickly. But I see my journal right here. So I'm going to click on the file that I want to include, and then I'm going to click the word Add. Now you'll see here that this Google Doc has been added to my assignment. The next step is very important. Beside it, you'll see a drop-down menu. Here's where you can select what the students are going to do with this document. The first one says that students can view the file. This is how you're sharing it with them. They can only view it. The next option says that they can edit the file. This means that they'll be able to edit your file directly. So if this is great if you want to do group collaboration or have your whole class work in the same document. If you're doing this, I would highly recommend that you make a copy of your master beforehand so that they are not typing into your master copy and that your class is working in a copy of this so that you still have the original file. The last option is probably the one you're going to use the most, and that is make a copy for each student. What this will do is when you send it out and they open it up, it will automatically make a new copy for that student where they can then change the name to their name instead of your original document. And then when they submit it, they're submitting their copy to you and not editing in your original copy. On the right side in the menu, you're going to see a drop down where you can select which classes this is getting posted to. The next drop down lets you select which students will be viewing this assignment. You can select all students, or you can select just a few select students from the menu. You don't see any students in my drop down because I don't have any students added to this Google Classroom at this time. You can assign a point value to the assignment. The next part is important. If this is something that is going to be graded, it is important that you're including a due date for the assignment. If there's no due date, you will not be able to put a grade on it. You can use the drop-down menu to select a date, and then a time is optional. Your last one is also very important. In this drop-down menu, it is your topic. This is where you're going to put this assignment. If you don't select a topic, then it will just appear in the main page and will not be organized. I want this journal to go here in the April 1st through 6th because that's where the daily journal is going to be completed. On the bottom, you can include a grading rubric if you choose to do so. And then at the below that is a checkbox for originality reports. An originality report is just a way to check for plagiarism for your students. It's not going to report them to you, but it's a way for them to self-check to make sure that they are using original wording. When you're ready to assign this assignment, at the top, you can see a green assign button. If you click the assign button, it will immediately assign this to your students. If you would like to schedule it for a later date, you can use the arrow beside the word assign and you can hit schedule. This allows you to choose a date and time when this will post and be available to your students. So you can go ahead and pre-make assignments for later on in your course before you're teaching it that day. I'm going to go ahead and assign it right now. When you've assigned it, you'll see that it appears in your topic here for your students to work on. And when you click on it, the drop down, it'll post what your instructions were and the Google Doc for them. Here's a great feature for you as a teacher. It'll show you who has turned it in and how many are still left that were assigned. Another kind of assignment or content that you can add to a topic, let's go back to our Create button, is a quiz assignment. A quiz assignment is like a regular assignment, only this time you're using a Google form as a quiz. So you still have your title and your instructions, and you are still able to add things from your Google Drive. So if you've already pre-made your Google form for this quiz, you can attach it here, or create a new one, or use the blank one that is attached. If you are adding or creating one, make sure that you are deleting the blank one so that they're not getting two quizzes. It's important that you are selecting grade importing below. When you are sending out this Google form, the Google form will automatically grade the quiz for you if you have imported your answers. You want to make sure that the grade that they're getting from that Google form is getting added to your Google Classroom gradebook. So by keeping this checked, we'll automatically do that for you. On the right-hand side, you will see the same menu as the Assignments tab before, where you have your classroom students, points, due date, and topic, as well as rubric and originality reports. And at the top, you have the same Assign button and a way to schedule it for later. Let's take a look at the next kind of content that you can add to a topic. Go back to that Create button. The next one is a question. As you can see, a question for a topic is more like a class discussion. It's set up the same as your assignment and your quiz, where you can have your question posted here, instructions on how to answer, and you can even attach things from your drive, link a file, or video. In this drop-down, you can select whether it is a short answer or a multiple choice answer. On the right-hand side is where things get a little different. You still have which class it's going to, which students, how many points, and a due date, and what topic. But at the bottom is what you're going to want to focus on. It's already pre-checked that students can reply to each other. So think of this like a Facebook post with a comment thread. Do you want your students to be able to comment on other students' posts? If you do, leave it checked. If you do not, you need to uncheck this box. Below it is students can edit answer, which is exactly like it sounds. If you want the students to be able to go back and change what they wrote, then you want to check this box. If you want them to only be able to submit the one time, and once it's submitted, that is their answer, leave it unchecked. At the top, instead of seeing assign, you're going to see the word ask. This is the same way as adding it to a topic. Click here to assign it to the topic that you have put it under, or use the drop down to schedule for a later date. Our next kind of content, we're going to go back to that create, is a material. Your material has a very similar setup to the previous types of contents where you have your title, description, a way to add attachments or create new ones. What you're going to notice in your menu is what's a little different. Here you'll see that materials are not graded. These are just ways for you to share resources or materials with your students. So you'll still have your drop down for what class, which students, and which topic, but that's it. Let's take a look at our next kind of content, and that is reuse post. So this allows you to reuse any posts from your classroom into another classroom. To do this, click reuse post. You'll be prompted to select which classroom you want the original post to come from. Here I only have the one classroom, so it automatically went to the reading. Next, you'll see the post you wish to use. If I had more posts, you would see them listed here. Here in this classroom, I've only done one so far. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the daily journal. That's the one I want to reuse. The next part is important. At the bottom, you'll see a checkbox that says create new copies of all attachments. If this is a daily journal that the students are going to be adding to, meaning they're building on from what they've already used, you want to uncheck this box and let them use the original post's documents. However, if this is something new and you want to have it as a different document, make sure this is checked so that they're getting a new copy and not the original copy that you had. Then you want to click reuse. After you click reuse, it'll have the same title, instructions, and attachments that you used before, only now you can change what topic it appears under. The first time I used this, I used it in my April 1st through 6th. But if I wanted to put it in a different topic, I would click on that topic and then assign it here, and it would appear in a different topic reused. This will save you time. If you have a daily assignment that is recurring, you can copy the post or copy the assignment over and over into each topic. All right, that is a general overview of how to set up your content in your Google Classroom. Thank you very much.